Well, Kev, welcome to our series of YouTube videos in the lead up to Beta Bay. And it's great to have you here. You're an icon of this event. And we know that over the years you've been directing. Can you tell us how many years that you've had the head position in this race?
Been involved with it since 1989 in the old Beta Breakers.
Yep.
Up until 2004, when with Tony Mylan we started the Beta Bay from Woy Woy to Gosford. Great,
and so Kev's had a fantastic career through the Beta Bay and Beta Breakers, being the leader and having a huge group of the Terrigal Trotters behind you. And we'll just do an aside there for a minute, because there's another story in the Terrigal Trotters that you're number one.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Well, it's not only what they say, the books say you're number one. And just give us a bit of an idea how the Trotters actually started.
A few guys have been running in the very early 80s, and then officially in September of 1983 I collected $1, 5 lots of 20 cents off 5 of the guys that were there. We had provided what was known as the juice. It was 96 cents, so we made 4 cents on that day. And the following week was the same.
The fundraising had begun.
Fundraising began with 4 cents, and that is genuine. We have the books to
prove it. That's fantastic.
And it's gone from there.
Yeah, and gone from there to where? $90,000 last year?
Yeah, we raised with the proceeds from the Beta Bay Running Festival was just on $90,000, and we're hoping to break over the $100,000 this year, which we're looking to do.
For a community group, I mean, everybody in this group needs a pat on the back. It's just a fabulous community event, but not, a fundraiser as well. So, congratulations on heading up that team over so many years. And so anyway, going back to the race, Beta Breakers versus Beta Bay.
Yeah.
What are your challenges been in the Beta Breakers, and what have your challenges been in Beta Bay?
The Beta Breakers, when it started, was in a sense, very well organised, but very low key, in that the traffic management that was required back then was really just a phone call from myself and discussion with the traffic manager at Gosford Police to get things organised. He knew that I would follow through on what I said. We introduced coloured t-shirts for the volunteers, which we had probably 50 at the time.
Yeah.
And then, because the race grew, genuinely with the numbers competing and the traffic increased, it became necessary to make some changes, to the extent that Gosford Police and Gosford Council got on board and allowed us to have the event go from Woy Woy to Gosford in probably the most scenic, fun run and now half marathon that you can ever get in New South Wales.
Yeah, it's a fantastic course going from Woy Woy. Most of it's on the footpath.
Yep.
And beautiful Brisbane waters in the background all the way. So we have the contrast then of Beta Breakers, which was a flat start through your busy business sector,
yes,
out along a nice part of the mangrove
yep,
background of Brisbane waters, then over some, I'd call them massive hills.
yes.
3 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there are, from just before the 5 kilometre mark, you've got the hill that used to go past the old drive-in, and then up to Serpentine, and then one into the finish to a great finish at the waterfront.
Absolutely, at beautiful Terrigal Beach.
Yeah, at Terrigal Beach. It was fantastic. I was one of the ones against the moving of it initially, because it was something I put my heart and soul into for 15 or so years.
But in the end, it wasn't your decision, was it?
No,
yeah,
it was really a police decision, police and council, but to their credit, the Gosford Police.
And I think it's turned out it's been a great decision.
Oh, it was indeed. It was something we were forced to do, but in the end, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and I know just for a little bit of an aside, that there was a year in 2000 that you decided to have a break, and so I actually directed the race for a year, and I'm very aware of how difficult some of those course positions were to manage.
If I remember rightly, you let me seek my Olympic aspirations.
Yep.
I think I missed out on the marathon qualifying by only an hour and a quarter, maybe an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
no, and that was, you know, I felt very, very good about giving you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I know the athlete that you are.
Yeah. Well, an hour and a quarter in a marathon is not too bad behind the qualifying, so...
That's right, yeah.
It shows there's room for improvement.
And speaking of improvement, your personal career's been particularly checkered with Ironman finishes. So there's been 18, I believe.
Yeah.
And do you think there's any room for improvement in the Ironman at this stage of your career?
I still think I have a good one in me.
Good, yeah.
I don't plan on retiring just yet. I've signed up again for...
So you think you could crack that 9-hour barrier?
Not far behind.
Yeah,
like
3 or 4 hours?
Only 3 or 4 hours. Well,
yeah, I think you might be close, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's something to aim for.
Yeah. Well, I might help you on your resume there, and we can go after a few sponsors.
Yeah.
Actually, they get good value for money on
you.
Yeah.
I'm out there for a long time.
That's right. So that's really good. I mean, look, as an athlete, Kev has had a great career. He and I have contested many events, and we have a little bit of an argument who wins or who has won the most times out of our battles against each other. But
sometimes it's knowing the course.
Great respect for Kev as an athlete, and I think that's what's helped you be a great race director over the years. You know, you have a lot of sympathy for what's going on in the athletes' minds, the type of things that they need, and also the Terrigal Trotters. I mean, everybody there runs. Everybody knows and understands, you know, what runners want and what runners need.
Look,
so
this event and the GNWs that we put on cannot occur without the Trotters. And as you say, they're all runners. They're all and walkers in amongst them.
Yeah.
They all play a part, and we have now. Of the Trotters, over 150 volunteers on the
that's
day, which is
unbelievable. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Plus the numerous scout troops that we use.
Yep.
The SES, you know, like it's a race that takes 6 to 8 months to put on. It's over in 3 hours.
Yep.
You know, 4 hours from start to pack up. Although the guys are on the road at 3 in the morning on Sunday morning, but yeah, like it's one of those things where the Terrigal Trotters have really made the event.
Oh, absolutely. It's synonymous, Beta Bay, Beta Breakers, it's synonymous with Terrigal Trotters.
Yes.
You think of that race and you think of the running group. And of course, they've given up the opportunity to run. I know a few Trotters sneak through and have a little bit of a run, and they've got everybody's blessing to do that. But by and large, everybody gives up their run on the day to help put that event on. And we're very grateful as a community and as a running community and as the just residential community for that. And thanks again to Terrigal Trotters. So, Kev, in the years that you've run it, what would be, say, the hardest, the biggest challenge that you faced during a race?
Well, in some cases, keeping up with the likes of Julian Painter, who was, you know, one of the greats. Like the speed that these guys
He's
run.
an Olympic marathon runner, yeah. Probably ran, what, low 2:10,
well,
12, something like that.
Marathons, yeah,
Yep.
but you know, to get just over 30 minutes for the old Beta Breakers,
That's hooting along.
that's getting along. And to be at 4 kilometres in under 11 minutes is really going. Like, and it is, as I said, the first half of the race is flat and the second half is very tough.
Yeah.
But you know, the challenge we face, which every competitor understands, is the weather.
Yeah. I remember one where you were handing t-shirts out in the back of a ute, and it was absolutely pouring rain.
Yes.
That was a shocker that year.
Standing on stage with electrical power and thinking, we can't do this.
Yeah.
We tried to move the presentation into the surf club, which was thankfully okay.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. But as I said, we really rely on the weather.
So you have some contingency plans, I imagine, but
we do.
That doesn't all. Well, now probably a lot more than back in the old days when it was a big learning curve.
Yes. Well, it's always a learning curve. We're looking. Thankfully, we have the blessing of council and the use of the Gosford Stadium.
And that's an amazing stadium. The Mariners use that, and there's some undercover area and
There is,
open area.
But having that as the finish is just fantastic. Like it's the most picturesque finish you can have.
Yeah, no, I love running into that.
Yep.
That's fantastic, and congratulations for that negotiation to you guys, and obviously to the council for accommodating that.
Yep.
That's been fantastic. So with perhaps in the funniest thing that ever happened,
well, if I've got to be remembered for a funny thing, it was the start of one of the races, and because I had the start gun and had to get out of the way, I had the timing clock in my hand. I had a timing clock and a start gun, and I was in the back of a ute. And many will remember, but certainly those on the front line, you don't need to laugh yet.
I'm going to have trouble not laughing.
And the instructions to my driver were, it was Rob Waite, who unfortunately he's not with us now, but Rob's instructions were, when the gun goes off, you take off. So true to his word, Rob
floored it.
I was out the
Kev went flying out the back.
Out the back of the ute. The people that were running towards
we were concerned about you, Kev. Even though we were laughing, we were concerned for your well-being.
The concern and laughter, I think, concern and laughter don't go together, but I clambered into the back of the ute, just dived into it, and he had to drive to get away. You
were very agile and very fast that day. It was very impressive.
But there's a lot of people who remember only that. And not the fact that we probably gave away $10,000 or $15,000 that day.
No, I didn't remember the other part. I only remembered Kev falling out of the back of the ute.
That was probably the funniest, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well,
if you can make someone laugh, you're doing okay.
I think that's a wonderful spirit to have in that situation. And
well, Mark, I can tell you,
it still makes me laugh 25 years later.
Yeah.
So speaking of it, 25 years later, so the Beta Breakers you started, we think, around 89, and that went till 2004, so we've got about, what's the sums on that, 15 years?
15 years there.
And then right into, now I remember when you started the Beta Bay, I was actually just shortly after trying to get the Arimba relays for the athletics, and we were comparing notes on how hard it was to get the paperwork up to speed on that first event. Yes. And that was pretty horrific, wasn't it?
So the paperwork, as I said, the race requirements, in a sense, went from a phone call to the local police and a letter to the council to now we've got traffic management plans, traffic control plans, which we're fine with, but there's a lot of compliance required now because of litigation that could occur.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the police are really on side and have been from day one.
And seriously, in terms of the course, safety-wise, you almost couldn't ask for a safer course, could you?
No, we are so blessed to have a pathway that goes from Woy Woy, even for the half marathon, heading towards Blackwall Mountain, which again is very scenic.
Yep.
They come back to the start to be cheered by the crowd ready for the 12 kilometre.
Yeah.
And then they're on a very wide footpath all the way to the finish. And past the stadium.
Of course, we're talking about the 12, but now you've made this into a festival, and there's more runs, isn't there?
Now we've got a 5 kilometre that now starts at Adcock Park.
Yep.
So that's going to be a big event.
Yeah.
We've got.
Are you putting a ceiling limit on that?
There's about 500 as the limit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What's happened is it's because it's evolved, and my role at the moment is for permits and licenses. So. But Jenny Barker, who's the race director of the
current event,
yes, and is doing an absolutely fantastic job. She's a great asset.
Yep.
We've got the 5 kilometre. We've also got a travelling fit kids run, which starts at the stadium.
That's 2
kilometres.
2 kilometres.
Yep, and that's a great thing to get kids involved. So we've got the 2, 5, 12.
Can you enter the 2K on the day?
Yes.
Yep. Great. Bring your kids along. Yep. What time does that start?
I think 10 o'clock.
Okay. Perfect.
So it's after the main group of the runners have come in.
Awesome. Yep.
So it's not an early start. So we want the little kids to be involved.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. Get the mentors and seeing all the older people out there doing our best.
Yep.
And so the 21. When did the 21 come on board?
The 21 came on about 5 years ago. It was we looked at other events around the state, and the 21 is a very popular event because it takes training, as you're certainly well aware, but not that which required of a marathon. So we looked at various courses that we could put in, worked out a plan, had it surveyed, and then when the stadium come on board, we had to change it because we didn't go up that ugly Heartbreak Hill.
I was thinking that was a benefit for the stadium for the course, wasn't it?
It was a benefit for the people.
Yeah.
So now the 21 is a very flat, very scenic, very fast half marathon.
And what's the current record on that? Do you remember?
Yeah, 68.
Yep. Is that Martin Dent?
Yes.
Yep.
So we would like someone to get the 65 to 66, bring it down to a more realistic fast time.
So I think Jack Colreevy's been running that recently, and he might have a go at that.
Yeah, well,
he's young and he's capable.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, and he's represented Australia in the Commonwealth Games. Yeah. Good. I don't think you and I might tackle that one.
Well, as I said, I'm just behind the money on that. But
yeah.
If I wasn't organising, I'd probably.
You'd have another go at that too. Yeah, you've got a big heart. I know that.
That's about all.
And listen, just finishing off and thinking about the festival, I know it's been in the back of your mind that you've wanted to do a marathon. Is there a chance that going forward that the Beta Bay Festival are we going to see a marathon in the future?
We've looked at it. It's very hard to get a course on the coast that's workable.
You couldn't really double the 21, could you?
No. The logistics of time and the Brisbane Water Drive where we run, like the police allow us to close it from 7:45 till 9:15.
Good, yeah, wow.
So it's actually a road closed.
Yeah.
Except for emergency vehicles, of course.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful to that. To have it closed till lunchtime wouldn't occur.
Yeah.
Because you've got to cater to the people that are taking 6 hours to do a marathon, and that occurs.
Sure. Yeah.
It's their aim. Be nice, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit of a shame, but
it's something we wouldn't write off.
Yep.
But finding the course on the coast that minimises traffic.
Maybe in the future there'll be some bridge going over Brisbane waters that we can think about.
Well, never know. we won't write it off yet.
Okay. No, that sounds a good way to finish off. And once again, it's been fantastic having you to come across and fill us in on the history of this race, because it's interesting how iconic it has become on the coast, and we can see that that's happened from hard work and longevity and people that really are passionate about running as the Terrible Trotters and the leaders that they've had over the years.
Yep.
So we're reaching out to everybody this year with a program that Mel McDonald's written, which I'm not sure if you've been following that, but
I don't follow them all, but I have seen them.
Yeah.
So it's great to have someone that's willing to put some notes up to help the average runner.
Yep. Get through and
exceed their expectations.
Yeah. And give them something to aim for and how to get there. Yep. And hopefully good luck to all those people that are out there following it. Not long to go now. We're pretty much on the countdown.
We are indeed.
And a couple of late nights coming up for the volunteers.
Yes, certainly.
But congratulations.
Planning's going very well. So.
Good.
Now it's just to pray for a nice, clear, sunny day. Or for the runners, really, they want it cool and overcast.
Yeah, with a tailwind.
With a
one of those ones that goes around the corner.
That's it.
Yeah. See us all the way home. But and look, all the best with the fundraising. Let's hope that we reach that magic 100,000.
Well, we'll be over the $1 million handout this year.
It's just phenomenal, and what can you say? But well done.
My guess will be about 110 to give away.
Yep.
That's my
estimate.
Aim for, yeah.
It's a long way from the days when we had $10 an entry.
It's a long way from there, and it's a long way from aiming to buy a humidity crib for $3,000 back in 1980.
Yeah.
It's a long way from there.
Well, be proud, people. Get out there and have your best go, and be very happy to hand that money over, because it's going all of it straight back into the community.
Yeah, and thanks to the directors of the Beta Bay and to Jenny Barker, who's heading it.
Beautiful. So if you like this page when you finish watching the video, we'd love to see you on the next one.